Hello, hello, and welcome everybody to Daily with Doc. So excited to have you here with us as always. And yes, it's true excitement that we are able to share empowering information with others around the world, meeting them where they're at, whether you're on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or joining us here live on our Zoom. Welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, I am here because of the impact that this information that is going to be shared with you today made on my own personal life. If I hadn't experienced it myself, I may not have believed it. But folks, when you experience something that basically gives you your life back and helps you to look forward to a tomorrow, to getting old. Yeah, I'm not getting old. If I look at pictures, and one of these days I'm going to have pictures, I'm going to show you side by side where I actually look like I'm getting younger. And I feel younger, a lot younger. And it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible what putting the right stuff into the body and then the body just loving it and utilizing it and doing what it was designed to do when it has the raw ingredients that it's supposed to have to be able to generate moment by moment healthy cells. So just wanted to do a quick little introduction as everybody was coming into the room. If you're out on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook and you would like to join us live, you are more than welcome to. We are Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50-ish Pacific time. So go to dailywithdoczoom.com and join us here live in the meeting room. And don't forget to go to dailywithdoc.com. You can sign up for our newsletter. You'll receive a newsletter that gives you information on how to connect with us. We are also sending out links with descriptions to the last week's show. So if you're not able to join us each and every day, no fret. We send you out an email that gives you links with descriptions of what we talk about each day, delivered right to your email. So I love the fact that we're able to do that. We also have a newsletter that we are putting articles together that's going to also be information that you can use and be empowered with in your own life, in your own family, in your own community. And as we as individuals are working on our own communities, we're going to reach the world in making sure that they also have the information that they need to reclaim health, reclaim wellness, and get out of being dependent on sick management, folks. So the individual that we have with us each and every day, Monday through Friday, is a lifer, a 90 for lifer. And it's not just 90 for lifer because of somebody creating it. He himself did the research and found that there are about 90 essential nutrients. Essential meaning our bodies cannot create it. If we don't put it in, it doesn't get it. And he's going to tell us more about that. Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to be able to bring to you Dr. Joel Wallach. Dr. Wallach, welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you so much, Rebecca, and thank you, team. The whole group, we're just a family, and we're here to do great things to share with everybody. I can't thank you enough for all you do to make it happen on Facebook and YouTube and what's the other ones?
Rumble.
And
we've got other places we're going to, Dr. Wallach.
Hey. So, and then, we're just on our regular Zoom. And so we're very, very proud of that. And so basically today, I want to talk about connective tissue. The biggest connective tissue mass in the body is skin. People don't think about that, but our skin from the top of her head down to the tip of the little toes, onto your tips of your fingers, your back and your front and your belly and your lower back and so forth. Your skin is the biggest connective tissue mass in the body. And then, of course, you have tendons and ligaments and cartilage and bone matrix. Your bones are not poured concrete. They're actually living tissue that come and go based on the quality of your nutrition. And Rebecca had a history. She had bone spurs all over the place, and the doctors wanted to do all kinds of surgery on her. We put her on the program, and her body repaired itself, and all those dozens and dozens and dozens of bone spurs just went away because the bones put them back where they belonged. Okay. And so these are the sort of things we do using the knowledge we have about what your tissues can do. And then, of course, there are certain things the doctors say, oh, you have lupus. It's a connective tissue disease. No, connective tissue disease is only part of it. When you have lupus, you have irritable bowel syndrome, which is a gluten thing. You're not absorbing nutrition. You have a skin issue, dermatitis kind of thing all over the place. And then you also have an emotional and mental problem. And they say, oh, it's an autoimmune thing. No, you get off all the bad foods, you take your 90 essential nutrients, and lupus goes away in weeks. I don't care if you've had it for 20 years, okay? Lupus is not an autoimmune thing. It's a simple nutritional deficiency. And then the same thing is true with bone diseases, arthritis, osteoporosis. Same thing with vascular diseases. When you have things going on in your veins, varicose veins are all twisted up and saggy and everything like that. And then, of course, you have your arteries closing up. They have all this thickness in the walls of the arteries. This is all due to inflammation to the connective tissue in the walls of the arteries and the veins. And this is easily reversible and repairable, by getting rid of all the bad foods and taking the 90 essential nutrients. We'll get into the specific nutrients in a minute. But just, on the great scheme of things, and then there's tendons and ligaments, tendinitis. Oh my gosh, bones are my favorite, particularly the skull. Medical doctors don't even know anything about the skull. They don't realize that we do have osteoporosis of the skull, which produces 37 different diseases, 17 of which are from the skull down to the tips of your toes. And these, they send you to like 15 different specialists, and they'll give you hearing aids and surgeries and that kind of stuff. They do a heart transplant because this 10th cranial nerve is being squeezed and so forth. You do throat operations because the 9th cranial nerve is being squeezed and your voice changes, you can't swallow and all that kind of stuff. And then you're slowly losing your vision, and they're going to give you eye surgery because the skull is squeezing the optic nerve, and also squeezing the optic artery and the optic vein, okay, and causing really damage to the retina, the lining of the eye, where the optic nerve going to the back of the eye, called the retina, okay, is the membrane, and then the zone is called the macula. So when you have macular degeneration, the blood supply to the macula is being shut off because your skull is squeezing the optic nerve, the optic artery, and the optic vein. And they would do all these surgeries and all this and the other, when really all you do is change your diet and take your 90 essential nutrients, repair your skull, and repair your brain, repair your optic nerve, your optic vein, your optic artery, and this stuff all goes away. And I'm, very, very happy about those things. And so, let's see here. It's one of those things where, again, before you get a double knee replacement, give us 90 days. Before you do a double hip replacement, give us 90 days. Before you do back surgery, give us 90 days. Before you do amputations of toes and fingers, give us 90 days. Before you have all these massive operations because you got bone spurs all over the place, give us 90 days first. You have rheumatoid arthritis, give us 90 days. Okay, because rheumatoid arthritis is just nutritional deficiency arthritis with a secondary infection with a bug called mycoplasma, which is killable with an antibiotic called minocycline, like the little bait fish, minocycline. Will kill that bug, and you get on the healthy bone and joint pack, and your rheumatoid arthritis goes away in weeks. I don't care if you've had it for 25 years, it'll go away. It's not autoimmune like your doctors say. Okay, with all that sort of as a preamble, I'm going to turn this over to Rebecca so she can ask me some questions on the subjects.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. I think that's the shortest intro you have ever given, but that's okay because we have so many people that are writing in through email. We have people here in the live Zoom with us with their hands up and questions. And you had mentioned the skin being the largest mass of connective tissue.
That's
It
correct.
holds us all together.
It holds us together and protects us from outside forces. Okay. And again, it requires all 90 essential nutrients in the blood supply, just like all other tissues. And so when people get eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, psoriatic arthritis, they get skin ulcers, they get skin blisters, they get all kinds of stuff all over the place. They lose pigment in the skin. If you're a person of color, you can lose the pigment in your skin. Okay. And you get little white spots all over the place. Your hair color goes away. You get white, gray, and silver hair. This is not due to aging. This is due to nutritional deficiencies. Okay. And so this is all easily reversible. This is all easily reversible. I don't care what race of people you come from. Let's say your hair is turning white and silver and you're getting big patches where you're losing your skin color. Let's get on the program here with the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, the MSM, collagen peptides. You need to get the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets for circulation into the skin. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 words. Take 3 of those twice a day per 100 pounds of body weight. And then we do have hair, skin, and nails. You can take 3 of those or 3 times a day if you really have a heavy duty skin problem. And the skin heals extremely quickly because it has an enormous blood supply, good stuff coming in there, but it does need the raw materials to be brought to it for it to be able to heal itself. And so we see this literally thousands of times a month all over the world. Skin is easy to heal. Okay. And, there's exceptions. Skin cancer is a dangerous thing. And cancers, which I say, you have these little skin cancers, they're the size of a pea. Those are the sort of things you can have them surgically removed. But why did you have that skin cancer? Okay. That means you're in contact with some toxic stuff somewhere, either in your diet or in your environment. And so you need to check all that out and find out what caused that skin cancer so you don't keep getting them and so forth. Oh yeah, I just get them removed and 3 months later I'll have another one. Well, that means you haven't dealt with the cause of that skin cancer, and that's why they keep coming back. But when it comes to other things, just psoriasis, dry, itchy skin, blisters, color loss, alopecia, where you're losing your hair goes away. I have people who were bald for 40, 50 years. And just after 2 months in our program, they started growing hair. And in 3 months' time, they had a head of hair like a 12-year-old hippie. Okay.
So when something is because of a nutrient deficiency, Dr. Wallach, the body was innately designed that when it has the ingredients and you're supposed to have hair in those areas, then it is possible that the body can reproduce it.
It can regrow hair. Also, it can regrow bone. Let's say, again, the doctor say, you don't have any cartilage in your joints. We're going to have to do a double knee replacement, double hip replacement. Say, well, give me 90 days first. And the doctor will say, why do you say that? Well, there's a thing out there that's going around that maybe I can regrow the cartilage. Oh, no. That's just all. No. Yes. Give us 90 days because we can regrow cartilage. I don't care if you've had bone-to-bone arthritis and your knees, you just have so much pain in your knees, you're using a walker and so forth, and you're clicking and popping even with the walker. It's one of those things where you give your body the raw materials. You got to give up the bad stuff so you can absorb. No fried foods, no processed meats. We're talking about bacon and ham and hot dogs and bologna and salami and pepperoni and that sort of stuff. Absolutely no wheat, butter, rye, and oats. Well, my doctor says eat more whole grains. Well, your doctor's wrong. You want to eat rice? You want to eat beans? Okay, that's fine. If you want to eat corn once in a while, boiled corn and roasted corn is fine. Don't be eating any fried corn. Okay. And so it's one of those things where there's no gluten in corn. Okay, but there is gluten in wheat, butter, and oats. Well, my doctor says there's no gluten in oats. Well, the gluten in oats is called gliadin. Okay, it's still gluten. Okay, is a bullet the same thing as a projectile? Yeah, it'll still kill you and it has a little different name. Okay, so the same thing is true here with these issues when it comes to health, and depending on what school they went to and so forth, what they're going to call it. But give us 90 days. That's why I always say give us 90 days, because you will see significant improvement or complete resolution. Okay.
So you hit something, regrowing bone. I just want to clarify, folks, if you've had an amputation of a foot or a toe, you're not going to regrow your foot or your toe back.
That's correct.
So I just wanted to add that little clarification in there, Doc.
You have to give your body what it needs before you cut the leg off.
That's right. Well, and Joanne just wrote in, and she is 62 years old with psoriasis since she was 3 years old on her buttocks, torso, and legs mostly. So she says that she exercises, she eats right, she's in good health other than the psoriasis. So Dr. Wallach, does psoriasis fall within nutritional deficiencies?
Oh yes, psoriasis is a very simple skin deficiency, nutritional deficiency. Okay, you can have patches. Your whole body can be covered with dry, flaky skin, cracking skin, psoriasis. Okay, saggy skin, wrinkled skin. There's all kinds of variations on that, but it's an essential nutrient deficiency. Okay, so she weighed how much?
She's 62 years old. She doesn't give a weight, so let's just go by 100 pounds.
Okay, per 100 pounds, we're talking about for psoriasis, whether it's a little patch the size of a quarter, or it's a patch the size of a basketball, or if it's a whole body.
She said on her butt, her legs, and her torso, so it could be small patches, but it's all over.
Okay, so basically she needs to get rid of all the bad foods and maximize absorption. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils. No cooking oils, no salad dressings. I like to use lemon wedges and squirt lemon juice on my salads. I also like, if it's a type of salad that requires a creamy dressing, I like to use the yogurt, okay, as the dressing as opposed to oily dressings. Absolutely no gluten, no wheat, no brown rye oats. Even if your doctor says eat more whole grains, eat rice, okay. Do not eat wheat, brown rye oats. And then I also want you to give up buckwheat. Buckwheat doesn't have any gluten in it. They brag about it in big things on the label. No gluten, which is true. But it does have another compound called phago, F-A-G-O phagopyrines, which is worse than gluten. Okay, so you got to stay away from buckwheat. Then no sugar, and absolutely no carbonated drinks. Even the diet ones got to go. And also the carbonated water, because they have the bubbly and they neutralize your stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. So even bubbly water is dangerous. Okay, don't do that. Okay, I know little kids like that, but don't give them the bubbly waters. Okay, and then let's see, we do have in our Rebound sports drink, the cans are bubbly, but I like to pop the tops on them the night before I'm going to drink them. Put them in the refrigerator. They off gas all the bubbly at night. They're flat in the morning, so I'll have one at breakfast, one at lunchtime. But we do have the sticks, which has 100 nutrients in a stick, and there's 30 of these sticks in a box. We have the canister. There's 36 servings in the canister. And again, there's a little scoop in there, and each scoop is one, has 100 nutrients in it. I'm going to turn right here.
You'll get it. Keep going.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay. So anyway, we have all this stuff that's going to help the skin, help the blood vessels, help the energy. And I just, have I missed any skin things here, Rebecca?
Well, the skin, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the skin, Dr. Wallach.
No, I mean, as far as the products.
Oh, as far as the products? Oh yeah, we have more. And one of my favorites, Dr. Wallach, is our skincare and our makeup and the things that we can do topically just to make us feel good, smell good without having all the toxins. But as far as a protocol for Joanne, you've got it.
Okay.
So
let's go to the next.
Talking about skin, Dr. Wallach. So Annie is on YouTube with us, and she's wanting to know, what if you lost your hair due to a toxicity of a nutrient like selenium? How long does it take the body to get rid of excess selenium?
Well,
And what would you do?
well, I don't know who told you selenium causes hair loss. That's not true.
Okay. That's just what the question says. So it's
Yeah,
not
I know, I know.
necessarily, but
Okay, yeah, selenium is an essential nutrient. It's the favorite nutrient of your heart. It's the favorite nutrient of your liver. Why do all these young athletes die in their teens and 20s and 30s from sudden heart death? Okay, because of a deficiency of selenium. What caused sudden death syndrome, SIDS? It wasn't the mothers laying on the babies. It was a lack of the selenium in the baby formulas because doctors kept it out of the baby formulas because they falsely believed that it was poisonous. And that falls into the science of crapola. Can I say crapola?
you can say crapola.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I won't censor you for that.
selenium is an essential nutrient. Don't go there. Don't go there. Selenium is an essential nutrient. It's required by all your tissues of the body, but it's particularly important for the brain, the heart, the liver, blood vessels, muscles. I said your skeletal muscles, your bone marrow. Selenium is so important. Of course, our great attorney, Jonathan Emord, and I, we sued the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, 8 times in federal court to get these nutrients put into baby formulas. And we eliminated sudden death syndrome in 90 days by getting it put into the baby formulas. Now, for years and 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 years, doctors have been telling people that mothers were laying on the babies and suffocating on them, and that was what was causing the sudden death syndrome, was the mothers laying on the babies and suffocating. No, it was just a simple nutritional deficiency because the baby formulas didn't have it in there. And the mothers, if they were breastfeeding the babies and the baby died of the sudden death syndrome, the mothers were eating gluten, wheat, bran, and oats, and not supplementing properly. And so the baby, even though breast milk, was not getting the nutrition necessary to prevent sudden death syndrome. Okay. This is very, very simple stuff.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. Now, I know that there's different forms of calcium. Are there different forms of selenium?
Well, selenium can be found, in soil, as just like you can find iron and copper and those kinds of things. Selenium, I think if you make a bullet out of it and shoot yourself with it, that'll be fatal.
Well, I know on the hair analysis, it is not listed in the toxic metals or
That's
the
correct.
toxic minerals. So that was a good sign there. So I just had to ask. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to the next hand that is up, or the first hand that is up here in the Zoom room with us. And we have a newcomer, Ryan T. Go ahead and unmute yourself. If you can come on camera with us, that would be fantastic. If not, you're still on with Dr. Wallach. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi. Sorry, it's a coincidence. Wait, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great, Ryan. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was away for a moment, like 30 seconds ago. Did I miss something?
Go ahead. You're up. You have your hand up. Do you have a question
Here.
for Dr.
There's
Wallach?
millions of people listening to you. Talk.
Doc, we're good. We're here for everybody. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay. Currently I am taking 1 capful of Ultimate Classic Liquid, 2 capfuls of plant-derived minerals, non-longevity supplements equivalent to the dose suggested to me in December, excluding the anyway. And regarding blood sugar, 1 Sweeties and chromium picolinate. I'm not taking any wheat or any soy sauce which contains wheat. Compared to December, my hypoglycemia and varicose veins are more manageable. However, currently my primary concern now is osteoporosis, because in January I stopped taking OsteoFX because my tinnitus began to increase and my teeth began to move more. So I resumed my old calcium citrate and magnesium supplementation. In March, I submitted the hair sample, but 2 weeks ago, before I received the hair sample, I was experimenting by megadosing a new one, calcium glycinate, 2.7 grams calcium to 1.5 grams magnesium. But that was a fatal mistake, and not fatal, but I began to have many symptoms like tartar, slight angina, diarrhea.
Okay,
My
well,
back.
stop there for a minute. That's a good example for other people. You don't want to take a lot of one nutrient. You want to take the optimal amounts of all nutrients. Okay, it's a big mistake, and that's why we don't talk about, oh, well, what can I do for my arthritis? We give you a program with 90 to 215 nutrients in it, so it's taking care of all those relationships, as opposed to saying, oh, take lots of calcium. Okay, you do that, you're going to eliminate the ability to utilize all the other nutrients, and you wind up with 15 new diseases you never had before when you take too much of one nutrient. And so that's why it's kind of like when you're baking a cake. There's all the recipe. You had to follow the recipe with a cupful of this, a spoonful of that, just as the recipe says. You can't just say, well, I'm just going to take a big quart of wheat flour and put that in the oven and make my cake. Well, you're not going to get a cake doing that. Okay, you have to do the recipe with all the ingredients at the proper relationships that have been determined by time and a lot of individuals who are experts in making cakes. Okay, and so it's one of those things where you can't play with one nutrient. Do not play with one nutrient. Okay, that's why we have the books. That's why we have the CDs. And it wouldn't hurt if you haven't done it. Get the book Rare Earths and Cures. Go to chapter 1011, page 272, and get a hair analysis and find out where you're at when it comes to your nutritional minerals, your toxic minerals, and everything. That will give you a clue what's going on. You can't tell by your clinical things going on because some of them are masked by the more painful ones. So you want to get that hair analysis. It'll tell you in the book where to send the check and the hair sample and so forth, how to collect it, how to package it, where to ship it. Don't forget to put the check in there. If you're in a foreign country, don't forget to put a money order in there. The lab won't run the test without the money. And usually within 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to get the hair analysis back. You'll get like 5 or 6 charts, 2 of the main charts. And one chart is the nutritional minerals. Where are you at there? Okay. And then also the second essential chart in there is toxic minerals, where you're at there. Okay. And it's one of those things where the data is unimpeachable. And then, of course, we have, if you have toxic metals at dangerous levels, we have the herbal rainforest as a detox, okay? And we'll tell you how much to use of that per 100 pounds of body weight and so forth to get rid of the toxic metals. And if you're missing a few of the nutritional minerals, that's because you're just eating and you're not getting enough out of your food. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. And so the only way you're going to maximize your nutrients, the only way you're going to get each and every one of them in optimal amounts is to supplement with all of them. And people say, well, I don't want to do that. Well, this is America. You have your choice. You can do what you want. Okay. But what should I say? If you're not taking all 90 essential nutrients in a fashion in which you can absorb them with your diet and so forth, you will pay a horrible price. Okay. I'm not only talking about money. I'm talking about losing many years of healthful life and having to pay a lot of money to deal with things that happened that didn't need to happen. Okay.
So Dr. Wallach, what would you recommend for somebody that has been told that they have osteoporosis, they have the ringing in the ears or tinnitus, whatever part of the country you're calling from? What would you recommend for them? So we've got the osteoporosis of the skull protocol. You can find in the book exactly what happens when you have osteoporosis of the skull and all the different conditions that are associated. And this is only a partial list of the conditions that Dr. Wallach has found to be associated with osteoporosis of the skull. I had 3/4 of these, Dr. Wallach.
Wow.
Thankfully, I don't have any of them now. And the fact that I followed your program and I stuck to it. Yes, there were times where I was thinking this isn't working, but it was only for a day or two, and I kept going, and I'm so glad that I did. So in addition to the brain and heart pack, Dr. Wallach, and this is per 100 pounds, you recommend the MSM Ultra. And in severe cases, that's 2 bottles so that you can take three times a day. And then the collagen peptides, and that's 2 canisters, right? So you can have
You can
2.
scoop it morning, scoop it evening.
Mhm.
And don't forget the rebound or sports drinks as opposed to soft drinks and carbonated water, juices, and all that kind of stuff. 100 nutrients in there, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. Very, very important. I do that, and I only weigh 142 pounds, and I get 100 nutrients 4 times a day. Okay, because I'm taking all this stuff. And in a couple of months, I'll be 84. And it's one of those things where most people can't imagine me being 84 because, you know, I look and act like I'm 50 years old or so. Okay. It's one of those things where this is unimpeachable. We have literally thousands of people in the longevity family who have followed our protocol and have gotten benefit and total reversals of horrible, horrible things in their skin and their tendons and ligaments and connective tissues and heart valves and skull and every place where there's connective tissue. Your bones are not poured concrete. Your bones are minerals put onto a sort of give and take matrix skeleton of connective tissue. Okay. It's called matrix, bone matrix. It's cartilage. That's why we used to make bone broth. We'd boil the bones in vinegar on a wood stove overnight, so it would suck all the minerals out of the bones, and we would drink that, and we get our minerals that way. It was too messy and stinky and smelly, so that's why we came up with the actual, to replace the bone broth, we came up with the MSM and the, let's see here, the collagen peptides and the glucogel and all that kind of stuff.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Wallach. So folks, it's not a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's getting the body all of the nutrients that it needs, and the cofactors that are put into the formulas that Dr. Wallach is recommending, they synergistically work together. And it's in a form that the body can actually absorb. So that's one thing that I think worked best for me. And you can find the story in the book that Dr. Wallach is holding up right now, Wallach Revolution. You can find Dr. Wallach's books at drjwallach.com. That's drjwallach.com. And you'll find all of Dr. Wallach's publications there. So Ryan, thank you so much for the question and giving us the opportunity to be able to address that in taking high doses of individual nutrients. Because Dr. Wallach, I did it myself, thinking that that was the right thing to do. And it gave me some really bad digestive results where, yeah, when you talk about irritable bowel syndrome.
You don't want to go back there.
Yeah, I'm not going back. So we have Marilyn who has her hand up. Marilyn, go ahead and unmute yourself. And before you say anything, Marilyn, I just want to make sure that everybody who's here with us, if you have a question for Dr. Wallach, find that raise hand in the Zoom menu. You'll be able to raise your hand. If you're out on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook, we do have members of my team monitoring the chat there so that we can get your questions answered there as well. So don't be afraid, don't be scared. Go ahead and ask your questions. And if we do not get to your question during the time of the program, then feel free to reach out to us on dailywithdoc.com. Use that contact us. But if you were invited by somebody specific, get back with them. They took the time to share this program with you, and chances are really good that they also are associated with us and I have many of the people that are on this team and many of the people that are commenting who are also certified holistic health coaches. So they've been trained to help you get exactly what you need to meet your health goals. Okay, Marilyn, I'm done talking for a moment. Go ahead.
Okay. I have a question in the chat from MD, and he's been on the program. I'm assuming it's our program for tinnitus. And he says it's better, but it's not gone. He's added MSM and Connective, but he wants to know how long it will be till it will go away.
Do we have a weight?
I do not. I wonder if we could get him on
Let's
the.
go for 150 pounds, Doc.
Okay, let's go for 150 pounds. Okay, so he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. Don't listen to your doctor if he's saying eat more whole grains. Okay, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. No wheat, barley, rye, and oats. No buckwheat. No fried foods. No processed meats. Absolutely no sugar. No carbonated drinks. Even carbonated water needs to go because it neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Okay, if you have tinnitus or tinnitus, it's osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve. You need to get a hold of the book. It's all in your head. Okay, and there's 12 chapters. Okay, and each chapter goes for one of the 12 cranial nerves, and there's a set on the right hand side of your skull and a set on the left hand side of the skull. And then we have a CD that goes along with it. Okay, it's a set, and this is the normal skull, 1/4 inch thick in a human being. This is the skull with osteoporosis. It's 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick. And you can see where it's squeezing the 12 pairs of cranial nerves and squeezing the spinal cord. There you go. Thank you. And it's one of those things, it's unimpeachable evidence, okay, that this is a mechanical issue. It's not an autoimmune thing. So 150 pounds, we get rid of all the bad foods. I'm going to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. A full dose of everything twice a day. I'm going to have 2 bottles a month of the MSM. So they can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes one himself, including the skull. Then you need to take the let's see here, collagen peptides. Take a scoop of that in the morning, drink scoop of that in the evening, drink. That'll be 2 of those small canisters a month to pull that off and help rebuild the skull. The skull, over a period of 90 days to a couple of months, the skull will go down to the normal size and take the pressure off those nerves. And then let's see here, also needs to have vitamin D3. Even if they live in Florida or California, Southern California, they don't get in a bikini and lay out in the sun, for 3 hours a day. So they need to have the vitamin D3 to make sure they're getting the minerals absorbed and put in the proper places. They need to take, let's see here, and also have them take the Rebound or sports drink instead of all those soft drinks and juices and that kind, and coffee. Okay, we sell coffee. There's nothing wrong with a cup or 2 of coffee a day, but if you're drinking 6 cups of coffee and you're not drinking your Rebound, yeah, our coffee has more minerals in it than anybody else's coffee because we use our Bloomin' Minerals fertilizer in our coffee plantation. We have a coffee plantation and we use our Bloomin' Minerals there. So our coffee has more minerals in it than anybody else's coffee, but still, I want you to use, 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee a day for a 200-pound person is okay a day, but make sure you're also having at least 2 servings a day of the Rebound. Okay, but tinnitus goes away very quickly. It's not aging. It's osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the auditory branch of the 8th cranial nerve, and it goes away very quickly when you do this. How long do you have to stay on the program? Well, as long as you're breathing oxygen. If you die, you don't need to worry about it. But if you're still alive, you want to be making sure that all this is good because you're just seeing a symptom of one cranial nerve being squeezed, but I guarantee you the others are being squeezed also. And people say, well, yeah, my voice is changing and I have hiccups. Well, that's the 9th cranial nerve being squeezed and the 10th cranial nerve being squeezed. And my doctor wants to give me an ablation or a heart transplant because I have atrial fibrillation. Well, it's not a heart disease. It's the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, the vagus nerve, causing that. And that all goes away. Give us 90 days on our program as we say it should be done. And guess what? You will be blessed. Okay.
All right, thank you.
You had mentioned that if people try to supplement with calcium, if they don't address the nutrients for the bone matrix first, they can't absorb the calcium, or the body won't utilize the calcium?
Well, you might be able to absorb it, but where is it going to be put? See, the calcium gets put on the bone matrix, which is the skeleton of the skeleton, okay, which is the soft connective tissue. It's like tendon-like materials, like your skin, and just like your fingernails. If you don't have skin, where your fingernails going to go? Okay, it's one of the. And if you don't have skin, you're not going to have hair. And they're all related. And again, your skin is your biggest reservoir of connective tissue in your whole body.
Excellent. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And next, we're going to move right over to Ruth Ellen, who has her hand up. Ruth Ellen, do you have a question for us? And you are muted.
Hello, Dr. Wallach, and I have a question from email, and I have no information about the person. Their name is Carol, and she sent in an email, and it says lack of pigmentation, spots/patches after chemo. Is there anything that can be eaten or cream to be used to bring back pigmentation after receiving chemo? And then she says, would eating tons of carrots help? ? And what would be a great program for Carol, Dr. Wallach?
Okay, well, let's go. I guess we got to go by 100 pounds because you didn't give
Yes.
it, right?
I have no information. That was the entirety of the email.
Okay, so let's go. When you have a loss of skin pigment, whether it's just happening or it happens following some kind of medical chemotherapy or medical procedures or something like that, or could be due to, quote, aging, unquote. But usually it's caused by lack of nutrients, okay? And so when people have serious health problems, it's lack of nutrients, okay? So you need to get rid of all the bad stuff. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no bar, rye, oats, no sugar, no buckwheat, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks and the carbonated water got to go. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. Let's see here also, one of the bottle of the MSM, so you take 3 twice a day. That's going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, including in the skin. You want the hair, skin, and nails. I'd go with 3 of those bottles a month, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And that's going to give the skin the raw materials it needs for hair regrowth, also because a lot of people will lose hair when they get chemotherapy and so forth. Hair regrowth, skin pigmentation, and also if they only weigh 100 pounds, they're only going to get 1 healthy brain and heart pack. I would also get 2 more bottles of Selenium if they had cancer treatment. The cofactors that come along with our Selenium, not everybody's Selenium, but our Selenium, we have 5 cofactors go along. One of those cofactors is actually required to make connective tissue in the arteries, in the walls of the veins and arteries, also in your skin, your bones, and so forth. And so it's one of those things where it's imperative to make sure you get all that, but it also will actually encourage the skin to produce hair color again, and also skin color again. Hair color comes back and skin color comes back. But you do have to take the total program, the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, and the MSM, and the collagen peptides. And then, of course, the MSM. And if they have high blood pressure or blocked artery problems, they need to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, 3 words, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day, and that'll get the blood flow through blocked arteries everywhere, in the skin, in the heart, in the kidneys, in the liver, the brain. And so it's one of those things where you need all 90 essential nutrients to make these things happen. Okay, so that's why we kind of go with these programs as opposed to saying, oh, just take more calcium. No, that will lose every time.
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wallach. And let's go ahead, and I have a question coming in from email. This is coming from South Africa. And the question, and we've mentioned teeth a couple times today. The question is, can there be healing or restoration come to a person's teeth through correct nutrition. So I also have another one that talks about teeth being shaky and loose. Those are all part of osteoporosis of the skull whenever you've got the loose teeth. But what can we do for like the structure of the tooth? Is that possible?
Well, you get an A+. And of course, the structure of the teeth is dealt with from the internal part of the tooth where the blood vessels, the arteries come in and the veins come out and so forth. And I haven't seen a lot of regrowing fragile teeth, but I have seen a lot of where teeth are loose and twisting around and all that kind of stuff and flapping in the breeze, that you can rebuild the jaw, the upper, dental arcade in the skull and also in your jawbone. You can rebuild that and tightening up on the teeth. And so it's one of those things where it wouldn't hurt to go to a dentist and ask them to do an examination and say, what's going on here? Why are my teeth loose? Can I rebuild teeth? Can I tighten up my jaw so I can maintain my teeth? And if you go to a dentist that does things for kids, they go to one of these orthodontists that did put braces on kids and things. That's where I'd go. I'd ask an orthodontist those questions. Okay. And they will give you some good information. But
well, one thing about an orthodontist is they can straighten them up. And then as you're taking the nutrients and rebuilding the bone structure,
tighten them right up.
Tighten them right up. Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. Let's go ahead and move right over to Farhan. Farhan, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir. Sounds great.
Okay, great. So Dr. Wallach, I have someone I know. He's 27 years old. He is about 165 pounds. And so he has a-fib. He has anxiety. And he can't, even though he rests really well and he's had several sleep studies, he's always tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got 165 pounds. He needs to get rid of all the bad foods. Okay, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown oats, no sugar, no buckwheat, no carbonated drinks. Even the carbonated water needs to go. And whenever you have, let's see here, a-fib, atrial fibrillation, that's the 10th cranial nerve, aka the vagus nerve being squeezed by the skull. It's osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve. It's not a heart problem. Okay, atrial fibrillation is being told the heart to do that. And the doctors want to give them medication, but they really, really want to anesthetize them, open up their chest, take the heart out, take a hot branding iron, touch it all over the heart, so find the place that's making the heart do irregular heartbeats. That a-fib treatment, okay, ablation is called. It should be called extermination because it has the highest death rate of any medical treatment. You do not want to agree to and volunteer for ablation. Okay, do not do that when you have that irregular heartbeat. But again, the 165 pounds, 2 healthy branded heart packs, 2 bottles of MSM, take a full dose of everything twice a day, both of those, the collagen peptides, 2 of the canisters, and take a full dose, scoop at breakfast, scoop at dinner time. Also need the vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. Need the Connective, 3 of those twice a day, 2 bottles a month, so the brain cells can talk to each other. Okay, and then it wouldn't hurt to take the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That's 3 words, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, to get the blood flowing into the heart, blood flowing into the brain, blood flowing into the skull, and this all goes away. These are just simple nutritional deficiency problems.
What do you think that could be causing the tiredness, even though he gets good sleep?
Okay.
Always tired.
Okay, well, we do have sleepies. You could go ahead and take a dose of sleepies a half hour before bedtime. Do that. Also has to stay away from sugar, and it has the gluten so it can absorb the nutrients. No sugar, because that accelerates you. No alcohol, because that accelerates you. You got to watch that before bedtime. And that's you have to change his diet because his diet is contributing heavily to all the things that are going wrong here, including a sleep issue. It wouldn't hurt also for him to get 2 bottles a month for a sweetie, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. Because do we know when he eats a big heavy dinner time, does he fall asleep watching TV an hour later?
Well, he said that is, I asked him, do you have a blood sugar problem? He said, no, he does a lot of blood tests, or he's been to the doctors so many times.
Well,
He says it's normal.
A blood test, unless they're looking for hypoglycemia, okay, they're not going to be able to, it's a 10-hour test. Okay, just taking a blood test, oh, your blood sugar is normal. That, you can't tell there. You got to eat a big heavy meal with lots of carbohydrates like spaghetti, something like that, or a big breakfast with pancakes. And then an hour later, you just fall asleep. You could be driving, you could be watching TV, you could be playing racquetball and you just drop your knees and fall asleep and fall on your face. Okay, because your blood sugar goes so low, you fall asleep. And so he could have a blood sugar problem, and he doesn't have to go to a doctor or get permission to find out. He can go to a pharmacy without a prescription, get the test strips. He can also get the test strips for urine, see if there's any sugar in the urine, all that kind of stuff. Find if he has a sugar problem. Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah, let us know.
All right. Thank you, Farhan. Now, Dr. Wallach, there is a follow-up question for Ryan, and Ryan wants to know, because he has a hyperparathyroid, well, how would you address that? He's wanting to know, because he has the elevated, he did the hair analysis, and in the hair analysis, it showed that he had a high ratio of the calcium and magnesium. So
yeah,
the
calcium is being pulled out of his bones because the parathyroid is perceiving that he's not getting enough calcium. So he's trying to maintain the blood calcium. That's why that's happening. Okay. So got to get rid of all the bad foods, take all the 90 essential nutrients, and, and so forth. Stay away from the bad foods. And wouldn't hurt to throw in the ultimate enzymes. Take 2 of those, say 5 to 10 minutes for each meal. It's a big bottle, so 1 bottle should last him a month. 2 before each meal. And the ultimate enzymes, and that should help absorption of nutrients. But stay away from, carbohydrates with every meal. Stay away from carbohydrates. You can't have rice pancakes for breakfast and rice noodles for lunch and rice for dinner, or baked potatoes for dinner, and have carbohydrates with every meal. Okay, because that drives your system to go one direction there.
I'm glad that you added that rice in there, Dr. Wallach, because you had just said if somebody eats a big whole bunch of spaghetti and all these other things, these things that you say do not eat, there are gluten-free options. I love the fact that there's gluten-free options, but that doesn't mean that we can still hoard on, engorge, overdo carbohydrates in general, whether they're rice or not. But there are healthier options too, things that are wheat, barley, rye, oats, or spelt, or buckwheat. Yep, all of these different grains that have been pushed for so long to be quote unquote healthy have actually created a decline in health worldwide. And Dr. Wallach, you do have another program to get to. We just thank you again for joining us.
Thank you. Over and out.
Over and out. We will see you tomorrow, Dr. Wallach. And folks, just as a reminder, Daily with Doc is a Monday through Friday program where you are able to join us for empowering information that allows you to be able to regain or take control or maintain your wellness. We're not about sick management. We want to promote and give the body what it needs to be able to not just survive, but actually thrive. If I could get my co-hosts to join me here on the screen, I just want to give them a big old shout out. We've got a lot of stuff going on, folks. We've got questions, I think, on all 3 platforms, plus here in the Zoom menu. And it does take a community. It takes a crew of like-minded people to make a show like this happen. And it's not just the show to happen. It's to impact communities, impact lives. And through the impact that we ourselves have felt we can, without a doubt, share this information to help others as well. So on behalf of Daily with Doc, as the hostess, I want to give a big old shout out to my co-hosts, Phyllis and Sherry and Farhan and Marilyn and Ruth Ellen and Heather, who's not on camera with us, but making sure that the other cameras and everything are doing what they're supposed to do. There she is. And folks, if you want to be part of a community, there's room. We have billions of people around the world and only about 100,000 longevity associates. So there is room for you. We are not about who can get the most and outdoing the next person. That's not about what our community is. We are about working together, helping each other succeed, because when I help others succeed, that helps me succeed. I'm doing what I have the purpose to do, and that's help people find health, help people regain their health, and feel the difference that I felt. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. Ask them if they know of a way that you can fit into a community and use your skills to help build healthier communities. On behalf of, again, Daily with Doc, if you have never spoken with anybody ever about the longevity products, Dr. Wallach, or anything longevity, feel free to use our number, 855-949-3377. I do have a call team that is standing by to take your calls. Again, that is 855-949-3377. Until next time, bye for now.